It is perhaps for the first time that a Tamil word has been used in a US political convention. The word is chitti, and it's a word that was used by, well, you've guessed it, by Kamala Harris, and it's gone completely viral. Here's Kamala Harris using the word chitti. Here's what it means, and here's the impact.
Family is my uncles, my aunts, and my chittis.
Chithis, younger aunt in Tamil.
Family is my uncles, my aunts, and my chittis.
A word that's got US Vice Presidential candidate Kamala Harris going viral in world of millions of Tamils around the world and sparking a flood of curiosity about the word itself. The first big shout-out came from fellow global Tamil Padma Lakshmi, who tweeted, "I literally have tears in my eyes. Kamala Harris just said chittis, which means aunties. My heart is so full right now." The word chittis stirred a flood of nostalgia, with Indians abroad welcoming the use of the word. One Twitter user even posted this picture of a popular Tamil serial by the same name, Chitti, saying it would probably be trending now in the United States.
Never was.
Meanwhile, analysts wondered if this was the first time a Tamil word was used in a US political convention.
Family is my uncles, my aunts, and my chittis.
No matter what, the word has clearly got everyone's attention.
Family is my uncles, my aunts, and my chittis.
Since she was picked as Joe Biden's running mate for the 2020 election, Kamala Harris, who identifies as Black American owing to her father's Jamaican heritage, has amplified her Indianness more than ever before, speaking frequently about her Indian mother and family back home in India.
She came here from India at age 19 to pursue her dream of curing cancer. At the University of California, Berkeley, she met my father, Donald Harris, who had come from Jamaica to study economics. They fell in love in that most American way while marching together for justice in the civil rights movement of the 1960s.
Back on home turf in Tamil Nadu, have already begun to take ownership of Kamala's rise.
I feel proud that an Indian being nominated, particularly a Tamilian being nominated to this high post, and particularly and more so a woman to the higher position in USA.
I wish and pray that she win and come out successfully as the first Indian, American, brown, black, women US Vice President.
It's happy news to us because we are Indian, particularly we are from Tamil Nadu.
Of course, while several Tamils are skeptical and believe Kamala Harris has merely tapped into her Indian roots to play to the political gallery, there's little doubt that she's getting the eyeballs. Certainly of chittis everywhere. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, chittis around the world have been cooing over Kamala Harris's invocation of that well-loved Tamil word. Kamala Harris is now officially the vice presidential candidate. She has Indian roots, as her mother is from Tamil Nadu. Here's a look at Kamala Harris's journey. Some will say she's only invoked her Indianness a little late in the journey. She is, after all, a politician.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. And because of who my mother was and what she believed, what she had the ability to dream was possible and then work to make possible, the fact that my mother never asked anyone permission to tell her what was possible is why within one generation I stand here as a serious candidate for President of the United States.
Casting her lot with brown voters. A groundbreaking candidacy in American politics. The 55-year-old daughter of immigrants, one from Jamaica, one from India, is now the Democratic candidate for the US Vice President, beginning her acceptance speech by remembering her late mother.
Was a proud woman.
There's another woman whose name isn't known whose story isn't shared, another woman whose shoulders I stand on. And that's my mother, Kamala Harris. She came here from India at age 19 to pursue her dream of curing cancer.
Her nomination seems calculated, a political strategy in a nation shaken by social unrest. Over police brutality against African Americans and a counter-narrative to Trump's anti-immigrant rhetoric.
This virus, it has no eyes, and yet it knows exactly how we see each other and how we treat each other. And let's be clear, there is no vaccine for racism. We've got to do the work.
Kamala Harris is a California senator, a former attorney general from the same state. And she's no stranger to presidential campaigns either. Harris herself sought the Democratic nomination for the top job before she dropped out of the race in December last year because of financial reasons. Grown in a world of activism at Oakland in California, Kamala Harris and her sister Maya were raised by their single mother, Kamala Gopalan, a cancer researcher and a civil rights activist. Oakland's black culture helped the sisters embrace their biracial identity.
The slow and steady progress of the Indian expatriate NRI community has reached the high levels of political. As an uncle, I am quite happy.
Her mother, Kamala Gopalan, arrived in California back in 1958. Barely a year and a half after Californians elected the first congressman of Asian descent, Dalip Singh Sondh of Punjab. California's bonding with Indians will only grow stronger if its senator goes on to become Vice President Kamala Harris. Bureau Report, India Today.
Kamala Harris isn't universally loved by Indians. There are those who hail her and those who are very skeptical about her, because Kamala Harris, remember, hasn't always been very supportive of India. She hasn't even acknowledged her Indianness as much as she had at this time. Take a look.
Kamala Harris is a Democratic candidate for the vice presidential polls in the United States. It's a historic moment for America as well as for India. She's the first person of Indian descent to vie for the second topmost post in the country, with even a chance for running for White House in future. But as good as it may sound, the Democratic nomination will be watched closely in New Delhi. The senator has been a vocal critic of the Narendra Modi government's decision to repeal Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir.
So often when we see human rights abuses, whether they be in this country or around the world, the abuser will convince those that they abuse that nobody cares, and that nobody's watching, and that nobody's paying attention, which is a tool of an abuser. And so that is part of what I would say. We are watching.
Harris's relatives in India say that the American senator is a strong advocate of human rights.
She has got a strong sense of what I told you: public service, public rights, human being, human rights. Even if she's of Indian extraction, if she feels there's anything in India which impinges strongly on civil rights of Indian citizens, because of either, like in states happening because of the color or ethnicity like Latinos, if it happens in India, she will speak out loudly and clearly.
Kamala Harris had also targeted External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar just a few months ago. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi wowed America with a Howdy Modi event in Texas, Kamala Harris's absence was noticed. The event was seen as an endorsement for President Donald Trump. Now, many foreign affairs experts warn that Democrats could become cold to Indian interests if they were to win office.
We mustn't forget that anyone who occupies that high office is first and foremost there to serve the American people and to serve US interests. We might also find ourselves in a situation where she has strong views on human rights issues or on something else that bothers us.
But on immigration and visa rules, Harris might be better than the current administration. Last year, Harris was a lead co-sponsor for legislation to increase the number of green cards that could go to countries like India and China.
Senator Kamala Harris's position on human rights is something that is going to trouble the Modi administration, given the fact that CAA and Article 370 are issues very close to the administration's heart. Having said that, they will have to reconcile with the fact that Kamala Harris is here to stay and is going to dream the big American dream of a shot at US presidency in the next 4 to 8 years. In New Delhi, Geeta Mohan for India Today.
I'm very happy to have on 5 Live this evening Kasturi, who is an actor who lives in India. She has also lived in the United States. Kasturi, good to see you. Welcome. What did you think of Kamala Harris, using what is said to be the first Tamil word at a US political convention? She used the word chitti. Not everyone has hearts in their eyes for Kamala, but what did you think?
I think once upon a time, Bollywood was the identity of India. It took our identity to foreigners. And in the last few years, the rising emergence of many Tamils in entertainment and in corporate America has taken Tamil to an international forum. And now, I don't think Tamil Brahmin is very welcome to high positions in Tamil Nadu. But there she is. She's broken every stereotype.
Yeah.
The first woman vice president, if they win the elections, then she's going to be the first female vice president. She will also be the first vice president with Tamil roots. She will also be the first vice president with Indian roots. So big deal. But yes, as you said, very happy that chitti is being the most searched word today the world over. Yeah. I'm absolutely happy about that. I mean, I understand how she's an accidental Tamil. At the end of the day, she's an accidental Indian. Her identity, I think she has identified herself consistently with her Black identity. But it's nice that she's coming out and embracing her roots in public. I believe, from reports, I believe that her Tamil identity was never a secret or an embarrassment for her. She has spent plenty of time in India, and her grandparents and extended family have spent plenty of time with her in both America and in India. I'm married to an Indian born and brought up in the United States. I didn't live in the United States. Okay. I divide time between the United States and India. I divide time between America and Chennai. And I share two identities. I'm a proud Indian and I'm going to remain that.
Yeah.
But my spouse, on the other hand, he does not find any conflict. And I'm saying this because this is what happens to Americans. They do not find any conflict in embracing all their roots. We, having been brought up here, tend to be more Puritan about it. I will never accept my spouse as an Indian. I'd be like, you're a pretender, you're a wannabe, you're an American-born confused. They see all these things. I would say those things. I'm not saying that malicious.
But Kasturi,
I would say that. But they don't have any problems embracing their roots, and this applies to the American mentality.
But with Kamala Harris specifically, Kasturi, there are people who say that, she identified as a Black American first, And it's only during, in the run-up to this election that she's begun to amplify these roots of being Indian. That was otherwise quite a private part of her life. Yes, everyone knew she was half Indian, but now she's playing that up. Nobody's blaming her for it, but she's playing that up because of the election.
I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say rightly so. I think if you have diversity inbuilt into your DNA, I mean, where else would you use that to your benefit if you don't use it in the presidential elections?
Completely.
Let's be very clear here. We use our differentness to milk benefits from every part of the world. In America, true blue Indians born in India who remain Indians, we get seats and scholarships because we are brown. And nobody seems to have any problems with that. I mean, it's not about Tamil or Tambram identity. If you're from an Asian country, especially India, you end up having the best marks and you still end up having a diversity quota. Why grudge Kamala her mother's bloodline?
I agree. Yeah.
And frankly, I think this is going to be more uncomfortable in Tamil Nadu because Tambrams are a very interesting species. They are not accepted as Tamils in Tamil Nadu, and they are not accepted as non-Tamils outside Tamil Nadu. Mr. Gopalan himself was, I think, more a Delhiite than Tamil. But again, that doesn't take away from him his Tamilness. But it's an interesting politic right here.
It is. And we've seen, the great part is we've seen so many of those hoardings with Kamala Harris, mushrooming all over Tamil Nadu, which is so much fun. And I think, you and I are going to chat about this more in the days ahead, in the run-up to this election, because we're going to see so much more of Kamala Harris. We're going to get more people from Tamil Nadu to speak about it as well. But this has been so much fun. Kasturi, thank you for being with me here on 5 Live. Lots more Kamala Harris. We Indians are like that only. People go out of this country, do big things abroad, and we take ownership of them right here in India. And that's certainly going to happen with Kamala Harris as well. Kasturi, thank you very much for that.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.